I see Wisdom kind of as the like young version of Jim Casey. Like I think quality wise, I think they're like, hand in hand.
Yeah, and Wisdom's still learning a lot.
Well,
but
before we start all this crap, I don't even know if we might even be already started.
Well,
So who's in your opinion, right?
Okay.
You open a restaurant.
Okay.
Okay. You've got unlimited resources for money.
Okay.
You want to hire the best chef in Plymouth.
Okay.
Who is that?
I would go Jim Casey.
we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Jim.
And everybody has their own little way of doing things.
Yeah.
But if you had to only pick one, like who would you pick?
I would do Jim Casey, and I have a couple reasons. Not just he's a great chef. I think there's two kinds of people. There's people who like to work for Jim Casey and people who don't like to work for Jim Casey.
Absolutely agree 100%.
And if people like to work for Jim Casey, Jim does a phenomenal job of grooming them, and like he doesn't want them to stay in his kitchen. Like he wants them, like Tyler. I think he's so proud that Tyler started with him, and Tyler's out on his own.
Tyler was a dishwasher.
Yeah,
and he like built him up.
And that's what makes Jim Casey great. Is it's not just I can make a phenomenal dish, because lots of chefs can do that. He makes phenomenal chefs out of his kitchen.
And to the second part of Carl's question is not just who's going to be the best chef to run your menu, who's going to be the best chef to make you money. And Jim knows how to beat up the purveyors. He's been doing this, and he did it in the city forever.
He costs out his meals.
Yeah, he knows
and he
every cent in his restaurant.
And that's a big weakness for chefs. I would say around here, I don't know about everywhere, but it seems like everywhere, is they know how to make a phenomenal dish.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea
how to make
how
money.
much it costs
Yeah.
or how much they should sell it for.
Yeah. And Jim rolls out specials that you didn't even know you wanted.
Right.
Like, who knew you wanted a fucking chicken and waffle cupcake?
Right.
And then he's like, they sell out. Like,
and you think about it, and I think, and I'm not calling Jim old, but I guess I kind of am. You think about Jim's just been so steady, and he's been in town for so long, you know, with Blue-Eyed Crab, and like he's just, you think like, oh yeah, you know, his stuff's awesome, but it's not like these young, exciting chefs that are doing this crazy shit you've never heard of before. Jim's just steady. But then Jim, you see him at these competitions, and he's smoking duck on a grill that with a tree branch he just ripped off of a tree.
He just went out in the woods.
And grabbed it, and like he's foraging like on the side of the freaking brewery.
Yeah.
And like, no, Jim's got new tricks too. He's not just an old dog. Like, so I agree with Karl. Like, I talent wise, if you're looking for like, if you don't care about how much money your restaurant's making, stuff like that, sure. There are other chefs that are doing more cool shit. They're doing gastro stuff. They're doing, you know, nitrogen frozen stuff. They're doing all this crazy shit. But
is that one what people want?
Right.
It's
It's
and
novelty.
two, is it going to make you money? That's right. It's
Novelty. Your restaurant isn't going to be there for the long run.
That's right.
Because people aren't going to have a $30 half plate every single night. They want a good steak. They want a good burger. He's probably got the best seafood in town. The other honorable mention I always say is John Ricardo. But John Ricardo...
Who's John Ricardo?
Solstice.
We said Plymouth.
We said Plymouth.
It's technically, I'm in Kingston, you know.
Oh, Kingston's
technically.
I thought we meant Plymouth County.
He does enough in Plymouth too, I think, where I consider him a Plymouth chef. I
don't know him, so I guess not.
He's a good dude, and he's extremely talented, and some of the best meals I've ever had in my life have been at Solstice. But Solstice, they do have a burger, they do have this, but that's not a place you can go to once a week. So yeah, he's a super talented chef when he's able to use these high stake ingredients and all that stuff, and you're willing to pay $40, $50, $70, $100 for a plate. But Jim's proven he can do both. He's at Malabar where you can go for a $100 steak, or you can go to fucking Blue-Eyed Crab, get yourself some crab cakes, a burger, and some chicken wings, spend $20, and have the same quality pub grub all the way up to fine dining.
And he does such a cool, like, non-event events. Been like, oh, it's the off season, come to brunch, and like everyone's like, oh, fucking brunch, I can't wait for brunch.
Right.
And then like for a while he was doing barbecue on Thursday afternoons.
Yeah.
To the point where I took a day off from work so I could go have barbecue on Thursday afternoon.
And that was his original restaurant.
Right,
It was the Red Eyed Pig.
Yep.
And yeah, he came up doing barbecue. It's just rad. So again, that goes more to the versatility.
Yeah.
So he can do seafood, he can do fine dining, he can do barbecue, he can do pub grub.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Sammy.
Carl had to step away for the,
We're recording right now?
Of course we are.
Oh,
It's fish.
Jesus Christ.
Who knows? Edit out the bad things we said, and just bleep every time we say Jim Casey so it doesn't get like a big head.
Yeah. Love him, but he doesn't need to know it.
Yeah. So, welcome back to the Bar Talk Podcast. I'm Andy from Inebriard. I'm joined with Jordan Chab from World Tavern.
Sodded.
And Karl Heine from the New World Tavern, who is ordering some beer right now, so he'll be back in just a short moment. So we were just kind of, I don't know, this is kind of like back to the beginning, like you and Karl just trying to get things back to normal. I think that's what we're trying to do.
Right. And we just kind of started this podcast by doing exactly what we always do and just spitballing, which was the idea, shooting the shit about restaurants in town. So that candid conversation was about local chefs, and, you know, it's like when you talk about sports, like who would you trade for? Can you imagine if this guy was on this team?
Okay, so if you were going to trade Jim Casey.
Karl loves this. He does this shit to
If
me
you were
all
going to
day.
trade Jim Casey, would it be a straight-up trade for Mike Wisdom? Because, like, in sports, you would trade the veteran for the young upcomer. Would that be a straight-up trade? Would you need future consideration? Would there have to be a draft pick? Would you need, like, a sous chef thrown in?
All right, so dude, Fish has got to totally get in on this. He doesn't have a microphone, but maybe we'll see that. But baseball mentality. I'm a huge baseball nerd, so we love doing this shit.
I like hockey, but I always like the management side, like the trades and
dude. You know what's
like
beautiful about this? Today is the MLB trade deadline at 4 p.m. So we're having this conversation. It's kind of like
Major League Badminton.
So let's say the chef trading deadline, right?
Okay, so all right.
So you got the seasoned veteran, and you got the young up and comers. So usually in baseball mentality, you get young and up and comers. So if you're a team that's got a high payroll and you're not doing really well, you trade your wicked valuable veterans to get young prospects,
and usually to a
future.
team that's trying to make a championship run.
Exactly. So put those factors in. So let's say Mike Wisdom's your up and coming blue chip prospect.
Yep.
Jim Casey's your future Hall of Famer, active future Hall of Famer. It depends.
And my restaurant's up for a James Beard Award.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, shit. I got a bunch of new competition in town. I need a couple really good years so I can up the value of this place and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Casey. But if I'm like, I want to be at this restaurant for the next fucking 30 years, Mike Wisdom. You know what I mean? Because Jim's wants to retire soon. You know what I mean? He don't want to fucking do this anymore.
Sure.
But he could put make your numbers so tight, he can make your bottom line that much bigger. So when you are going to sell your place.
And we already talked about it because every team has that prospect on it.
Right.
He would make your prospect better.
Right.
In those 3 years, the amount that he could teach your prospect.
Your J.D. Martinez on the Boston Red Sox, baby.
Yeah,
makes all the
that's
batters
exactly
better.
who I was thinking of, Jordan.
Yeah, that's who Fish was thinking of. But exactly, you sign these veterans not only for their product and their experience, but for how better they make everyone else around them with that experience and for their leadership and their veteran. And not to say Mike's not a veteran, but he's a younger kid. He's still got a lot to learn.
He's got a lot of time.
Right. And I think he'd be the first person to tell you that. So, and we have a lot of young, exciting chefs down here. I think another great one would be Tyler Jobert, who was trained by Jim Casey.
Right.
You know, an example of making the people around you better with your experience.
And now he's working with Jess Childers at
friend of the show.
Yep, at
Mirabeau.
Mirabeau, thank you.
Mirabeau is a local spa / restaurant. You can go there for it's a day spa. I took my wife there for our first anniversary. It was incredible. First time I ever got a pedicure, which was weird. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would, and my nails were actually not yellow for about a month and a half. It's pretty rad. But
Tyler doesn't do the pedicure.
He does not do the pedicure.
But now he's learning under another chef. So I mean, like that. So all right. So we're building our chef team. Who is the biggest? Not biggest. Who's the best prospect in town? Is it Tyler? Is it Wisdom? Because Tyler is now under another well-respected chef.
Yeah, understandable. I want to see Tyler do it on his own, though. I want to see him run his own kitchen. He was doing it at Mahoney's for a little while. Yeah, but that was off the grid. I want to see him do it in Plymouth. Yeah. You know, I want to see him.
I actually went down there. I only found out he was running the show down there because I happened to be down there.
Right.
And, dude, food was, phenomenal. It was great.
Every time I see him, I'm like, dude, your Instagram posts are unbelievable. I am a big fan, and he's not a head chef down here, but he won the America's Hometown Throwdown.
What's his name? The
Rob Goldrick.
Yeah.
So he's suing for John Sashimi, as he goes. He's a former head chef over here at New World. He actually opened New World with Karl.
You're like, he's suing. I'm like, dude, don't talk about so much.
I'm like,
oh,
no, sous chef, suing, sorry.
Yeah.
But Rob Goldrick, younger kid, he actually was at New World as well. He started as a dishwasher, just like Tyler, worked his way up. Most people, I think, kind of start that way as a busser or something like that. And Rob has just been really, watching him compete at that Mayflower's American Hometown Throwdown last year and seeing him develop from when he was just like a fry cook and a dishwasher to now, he's really, like, Johnny's really taken him under his wing, and the kid's got confidence, and he's also got, like, that young, fresh ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see, especially because I know Johnny, I think Johnny's split in time between Lena's and Salt. They're part of the same restaurant group. And seeing Rob take on more, and I'm not there a lot, so this is all me just kind of assuming and paraphrasing, just seeing the natural sort of way things develop. We can go right to the source for this. But seeing Rob develop and probably take on more responsibility and get more creative and confident in his craft, especially after winning last year, is pretty exciting shit. A young kid.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm curious to see, and I'm not sure if he's running the kitchen now at Tasty, but is Ryan running the kitchen there?
I think so. I don't know. I just assume that.
Yeah.
But I also know that him and Mike are kind of 1A, 1B. Like, they go together like me and my brother. Like, we just go everywhere together. So I'm curious. I don't really know about that. That's
Because last time I stopped in, the only reason why I know why Wisdom is gone is because Ryan was there. I'm like, where's Wisdom? And he's like, dude, he's at the lobster lobster pot? Yeah.
Lobster Hut. Lobster Trap.
Lobster
Jesus
Trap.
Christ.
Yeah. So I would like to see, if he is running the kitchen there, I'd like to see him stay, because when I went there the last time, the food's great.
Right.
You know?
And he was the lieutenant for Wisdom. Like, if anybody's going to know how to execute that menu, it's fucking Ryan. You know what I mean? Like, so. Yeah, I would imagine. If he's still there, then that seems like... And then Mike, the owner, Mike Peters, does a lot, too. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like it was 100% Mike. Like, I'm 100%, Mike Wisdom. It was Mike Peters was, active owner there every day, doing some buying and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm imagining it's probably a collaboration between them two now. Crazy. And then there's Brent, who's been Sukasa Tasty, and now he's doing his pop-ups and stuff like that. As another exciting young chef doing a lot of farm-to-table shit. There's Karl, who's been rolling up pretzels, now a kitchen guy.
Now a food truck guy.
He's not in front of the microphone yet, so we can talk as much shit as we want.
Yeah.
But Karl's a young and up-and-coming chef.
That's right.
He's young to the game.
I was going to say young.
Young to the game.
All right. That's yeah, so there's just so much cool stuff going on. And, COVID aside, there's that new restaurant that's going to go on top of the formerly Blue Building.
Yep.
I think that's.
I don't know much about that.
I think that's a Craig Vogel project.
Craig Vogel, former owner of Main Street Sports. Vogel family owns a lot of stuff down here.
So I'm excited to see what he's going to do there. Yeah.
Complex down on the waterfront. But I'm hearing there's going to be like at least one restaurant, if not, there's like a roof deck restaurant.
Yeah,
there, right?
I think he said steakhouse is what he was.
Yeah.
Well, what's going in at Isaac's?
That's a good question.
Oh,
I
that's an excellent question. Yeah.
Haven't heard
That's
anything.
a big place.
I forgot it even closed.
Big place.
So we were just talking sports-wise, Karl. If you
were talking sports?
Barely. He was making fun of me for using sports as an analogy. But
not really. But if you were trading chefs...
He loves this shit. You do this shit all the time.
You have Jim, so this is the question. You have Jim Casey, who's the veteran.
Mm-hmm.
You have Mike Wisdom, younger, up-and-coming chef. Is that a fair trade? Or would you have to throw in...
1 for 1?
Yeah.
No.
Or would they have to be like draft picks? Or like...
Am I getting a given? Which side am I on, first of all?
Let's say... Well, you're one of the...
Because I might say it's an even trade if I'm getting the person.
Right.
So let's say this. New World Tavern is one of the older restaurants on the street. Kind of, I don't want to say like sparked the trend here, but definitely was.
You were the first.
Yeah.
Second.
So
that's all right.
Let's say that you have Casey.
Okay. In which rating?
And I have Wisdom for my non-existent restaurant.
And the offer was made 1 for 1.
Sure.
Would I do it?
Yeah.
No.
So what would I have to do to sweeten the deal? Would I have to trade?
Full staff.
Are we
Prospect Hall?
Don't want to speak ill of Mike, but
No. This is all. I mean.
So what would I trade?
Yeah.
For a Jim Casey.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jim.
Yeah.
What would I trade?
What would I have to trade you?
Okay, give me a second. I got to think about this.
See, I'm going to give you mine.
Okay.
answer because you weren't here for it. So I was comparing it to baseball. It depends on the situation of my restaurant.
That's correct.
So if I am looking to, I have a bunch of number twos, let's just say, in my kitchen. Running smooth. No big chef. Nobody really doing my thing. But a bunch of young, exciting kids that are getting better and better and better. And they're reliable. They want to work full time. They're not little assholes.
Well, I think if you really want to go through this, you're looking to get Jim.
So, no, I'm looking to sell my restaurant in 5 years. I want to get numbers up. I want to get everything tightened up for the accountants for when I'm trying to sell it. I think I've maxed out where I'm at right now, but I want to make it presentable for a buyer so I can get as much as possible. I will trade my Mike Wisdom and another kid for a Jim Casey to come in, tighten this shit up. He's in the end of his career. He wants to retire soon too. And fucking, that's when I would trade. So, but if I'm opening a restaurant and I want it to be around for a long time, I need to 10 years, 15 years, I'm depending on it. I would rather have younger kids that I can mold and build and all that, and then build my own system. I mean, I guess you would want a Jim Casey to open your restaurant too, because he could put something into effect, and then you can let him go after 5 years. You guys part your ways. He goes back and doing his thing, and then you have a system in place by a veteran. So I guess there's two ways of looking at it.
So I would take a Wisdom and a veteran kitchen manager. And I think sometimes kitchen manager is more important than a chef.
Agreed.
And I feel like sports-wise, that's a pretty normal thing. You get
plus cash.
Plus cash.
Considerations and a chef to be named later.
Yeah. Or just cash, now that I'm thinking of it.
But I mean, like, that's a pretty normal thing. You trade the veteran, and that you usually get, like, the young prospect, but you usually get something that you can count on, a draft pick or, like, a steady,
2 for 1.
Maybe not a, like, veteran, but someone who's had some experience that you know what to expect from.
Right.
Just in case that prospect doesn't work out.
Right.
Not saying you wouldn't work out Wisdom.
No, right. But you want Wisdom, and you want
we're making sports
a
references.
strong support for Wisdom coming in to trade for a guy like Jim, who you're going to get. Jim, you're losing a kitchen manager and a chef.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of need to get that in return.
Like if you got Wisdom and Ryan together.
Right.
But you might have somebody, that kitchen manager, on the back burner.
Right.
Get it? Kitchen manager.
Ah.
That you're going to bring up. So you take Jim Casey and you move your guy to be a kitchen manager. Now you have a new kitchen manager under the old regime, which is going to be good training.
Right.
So
now
maybe you're all right giving that kitchen manager away because you're going to bring somebody else.
Yeah.
2 years of Jim Casey, who he's going to run like a clock and you're not going to have to worry about anything, opposed to 10 years of these younger kids, and you're going to have to put more work in to get them to do it. But you got the longevity and
again,
not having to worry about it.
all depends on your setup in the restaurant. All depends on how big your restaurant is.
We were just filling time while you were doing your order. And this is super inside baseball, very, very Plymouthy.
Literally, it's the baseball trade deadline today. Actually, the Padres just acquired Mike Clevenger.
Oh my God! Really?
They are stacking up.
Super
they got
exciting.
Mitch Moreland yesterday.
Everybody likes Mitch.
Mitch Moreland, Mitchy Two Bags, dude.
Kleinger, what was it?
Clevenger.
Yeah. But let's do something for our listeners that are outside of Plymouth and do some Q&A.
Fair enough.
That means questions and answers.
Yeah. And this is... Dude, don't make him do a spit take. I'm directly across from him.
Why is that funny?
Because I would have been soaked. So just because you missed it, you missed the intro. This is Karl Heine from the New World Tavern. And this
Hello,
is
everybody.
the first time that we've had Jordan and Karl together in 6 months?
Yeah, since we did the drink. Well, we did that drink video thing, but...
Oh, yeah, but for the podcast. Yeah,
I think it's the first time we've actually been on... Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You guys are all Zooming everything.
Do you guys miss each other?
No.
No, we still see each other every day.
Yeah, you don't have to add that. You can just say you don't miss each other.
Yeah, I'm saying why.
All right.
Fucking stuck across the street from you.
This one comes from Don Bautista.
What's up, Don?
Do you guys have problems with servers showing up to work in dirty uniforms? I had 3 servers come in yesterday with food cakes on their apron uniform, or both, say they didn't have time to wash their uniforms. Who doesn't wash their clothes, especially handling other people's food? It literally looked like they got wasted, slept in their car, and came straight to work.
Probably got wasted, slept in their car.
Car and came straight to work.
That's probably... I'm going to say no. I've never really noticed my staff wearing dirty uniforms. I have more of a problem with staff coming in not wearing their uniforms because they're dirty, rather than
trying to wear it.
Right. So they'll wear something else that's comparable.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you require as a uniform?
Right now, just the shirts that we give you.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
New World Tavern T-shirt.
T-shirt or collared shirt, whatever
Right.
we give you. Before it used to be as long as it was a nice looking shirt or even a beer T-shirt.
Yeah.
So for some advertising for some local
Local,
breweries
yeah.
or whatever it is, we allowed that. But now,
What about sports
but now
teams?
people are no.
During a game, though?
Well, if it's a big game, yeah. But
Yeah.
If just the Bruins are on because it's a regular game, no. Okay.
Yeah.
No. If it's playoff time and they want to, add to the
Patriots it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say Patriots are once a week.
Patriots are once a week. That's a little different.
Okay, Sundays
Yeah.
you can wear your Patriots.
If they want to wear their Drew Bledsoe shirt, feel
it
free.
has to be Bledsoe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The original number 11.
I've always been loose on my policy. I do spend a lot of money on shirts for my staff. I give them shirts. I give them hats. I give them, sweatshirts when they're with me for more than a month and a half. And I do that, and I spend a lot
they
of money
get
on stuff.
sweatshirts?
Yeah, if you work there. Yeah, I know. I owe you still. I know, buddy. Hey, listen, I'm in a pandemic right now. I thought I had your sizes. down.
Talking
That's
about the Caseys, like Heather Casey, I was talking to her the other day, and her excuse for every complaint now is COVID.
it. Yeah, right. What else are you gonna do? But I've always been kind of loose, and I'll ebb and flow. So, like, I'll get aggravated if I notice for like 2 weeks I don't see one of my staff wearing anything Speedwell, and I'm like, all right, guys, listen. Like, I don't care if you just wear the hat. I don't care if you wear a shirt under a shirt. Like, wear something with our logo on it so we can. The bouncers have to wear it, but like, just wear something that looks Speedwell-y. But as far as being dirty and stuff, no, I give them enough stuff. Where
That's shame on, and we have the same problem here, is because we're so lenient on what they wear. So I'll give somebody 3 shirts, and they have 4 shifts, and they're like, well, what am I going to do on the 4th shift?
Right.
Well, wash your
laundry.
shirts.
Wash your shirt.
Right.
And they're like, well, we don't have washer and dryer. Well, wash it in your sink. I don't give a shit
Right,
what you do.
right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to have a washer and dryer to do your laundry.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy a little bit of.
But that's
You could chew
that's
on the
problem.
Clorox Tide Pod or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right. That's
Yeah.
a problem with being a lenient boss or a business owner sometimes is you give them a little, you give them a little, you give them a little, and then after a while you let it go.
You gotta ring 'em back
and then,
in.
then you got to ring them back in. And now it's like, okay, the policy is you wear your shirt. And then a week later, someone's wearing a Bruin shirt.
And you're
Somebody's
just like,
wearing this
eh,
shirt. And
it
you're
just-
like, okay. And then it goes 2 months from now, you're having that same exact meeting.
Yeah.
You have to wear a shirt.
And that's just I've just come to peace with it because I'm
Right.
just like,
And there's a real distinct policy between, like, especially if your uniform is a T-shirt and they come in another T-shirt.
Right.
But if you have someone wearing filthy clothes,
yeah,
I'd be like, go home and straighten yourself up.
Right. Like my kitchen guys, I don't have them wearing aprons. I don't have them wearing chef coats. So they wear T-shirts I provide them with or anything they want to wear that they don't mind getting greasy.
Yeah.
So like I'm not expecting them to wear something that's completely pressed.
But they
and
don't.
clean
Yeah, but they
every
don't.
single time they
you
come
don't
in.
see them.
They're in the
Yeah,
kitchen, and
exactly.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
there might be a couple grease spots on their shorts or something like that.
But they're
And I'm
not
like,
out running food. And they're
no,
not out dealing with the
exactly.
customer.
But and they're also not coming in with gross food stuck to their clothes from the
Right,
day before
right.
either. It's grease stains, and that's fine. But the front of the house, I think they want to make money, and I think that part of making money is looking good. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sure.
And being presentable, not just attractive, because some of the girls definitely benefit from that too. They're
You
cute,
can't say
they're
attractive.
young.
That you can't. Ask
Sorry.
them that. Yeah.
But even the male front of the house people I have, they want to look good. They want to be presentable. They want, especially nowadays with COVID, you want to look clean. And I think that's very important. I came up in a place, I was a banquet restaurant that I wear a tuxedo every day when I worked. If there was a ring on my collar, I got sent home. Same with the chefs in the back kitchen. Like, they had to wear cummerbunds and shit. Like, if that had any kind of like grime on it from the night before with them sweating, the owner would send them home. Like, you can't show up like that. So
and I
it
think-
depends
But
where you're at.
Don, for this question, you
Yeah.
might want to reevaluate where you work if
Yeah.
that's happening more than once.
Well,
Right.
And I think my initial response, if it happened, I would sit them down and be like, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Because that's a weird thing.
Once in a
Okay,
while.
so-
Yeah.
Now that's what you don't do as a business owner. You just say, go home and get clean clothes on, and don't do it again.
Yeah.
You don't
See-
sit them down and say, whoa, is your life okay?
I manage it.
I
that
don't
differently.
care.
Well, see, I think I don't know. Maybe I'm a nice person.
They're
I'm
not,
not- I man- you
they're
know
not
I
my
manage
my
friends,
people,
they're
right.
my employees.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
I'm the other way
I
around.
don't know. I would give them...
When you
like-
get older, you're going to say,
I know.
Kyle was right.
But
I know.
regardless, I would still be like, go home, get your shit together.
Right.
And if it became...
But
if it
you're the
was a repeated
same age
thing-
as all your employees.
I'm about 10 years older than
I'm
them.
not.
Yeah, right.
I'm like 12 years old.
right. But I've been doing this a lot longer
12...
than you.
Your employees are that old?
Kyle employs a bunch of 50-year-olds.
Hold on, I'm
apparently.
doing math.
All right,
next question.
This is Miranda Holmes.
What's up, homie?
This is a hot button issue.
Holmes.
This is
Holmes,
pretty great.
homie. I like that.
What
Home
is your
slice.
policy on service animals in the restaurant? Must they have a vest on?
Well,
We've done this one before.
yeah, I
haven't we?
think.
Have we?
Did you say circus animals?
Yes, that's what I said. If
Um,
a chimpanzee comes in,
I miss having
Does
service.
it need to have a vest?
chimpanzee comes in and he's not wearing a vest,
yeah,
I think I would let it go.
A chimpanzee with a vest, a bow tie, and a cigar.
So a chimpanzee walks into a bar.
yeah.
Does he have a vest on?
I saw a great one the other day. It said, guy walks into a bar, he orders a Corona and 2 Hurricanes. The bartender says, that'll be 2020.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that's I get
No,
it.
Corona.
I get it.
Come
Fuck
on,
with you.
man. That was a good one. I thought that was fantastic.
That was really funny.
Ah, you guys suck.
So
What was the
anyway,
question again?
Service
yeah, so
animal.
if somebody comes in with a service animal, doesn't have a vest, and the guy says, "Oh, it's my service animal," and I mean, you can tell sometimes by the crowd that comes in with that person.
Right.
If that person is a special needs person and they have an animal, I don't question it.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's a Rottweiler that's nipping at people's friggin' legs.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes in and it's a smaller dog or a smaller animal, and you know that somebody in that group is special needs, and you're like, I don't even ask. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Same.
If you have somebody come in, and now you can't ask if that's a service animal.
Such bullshit.
You can't ask them that.
It's crazy.
And
So
now,
yeah,
you
so
can,
I don't-
now you can
I
just
don't-
order vests on Amazon and
Yeah.
just slap it on whatever
Yeah.
thing you want.
That was my original, when you first said if it has a vest, that my first thing was the vest means nothing.
Yeah.
People can just get vests.
And it's so unfortunate that I think people are so disrespectful to those with special needs that they're using that as an excuse to take their dog somewhere.
That's correct.
problem.
And I
And
think-
they definitely do that.
Yeah.
But can
about half of them.
you tell the difference?
No, you can't.
Because we're not legally allowed to ask
Yeah.
for paperwork.
And-
And when we were told originally, the service dog thing, before it was just, so it used to just be blind people really
Yeah.
necessarily had service dogs. It wasn't these anxiety dogs and all
People
that
with
stuff,
PTSD,
dogs.
yep.
And I'm not poo-pooing on the importance of that. I do think it's beneficial for people with those issues. But when that became more popular and became a reason, a way for people to get treated for those
Yeah.
issues, and you saw it a lot more common, so many more people started taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because they wanted, the Board of Health doesn't want animals in our bars, and they wanted to bring their animals to their bar.
And
to the
I'll
bars.
even go as far as I think people may actually have, say, PTSD,
Mhm.
and just haven't gone through the trouble of getting. I don't know if you need a license or what kind of approval
some
you need.
kind of paperwork, right? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you have to license the dog
Yeah.
and the dog has to be trained a certain
Right.
way.
And I think they're just like, well, I have a dog and he makes me feel better,
Correct.
and which okay, fine, but
If somebody comes in with a service turkey, I'm not letting them in.
Right.
I don't care.
yeah.
But we did have.
Oh, but
we
a
did have
chimpanzee's
blind guy.
okay.
We had a blind guy came
It's a lot
in with
more
his
fun.
with his CNI dog, and they came and they sat at the table, and the dog was very well behaved.
You can,
I mean,
you
could
can,
tell. It was
you can
very
tell
well
a
behaved.
service dog because they're
And the
super
blind guy
well.
had a few too many drinks.
Oh,
So-
yeah?
So we had to shut him off.
Yeah. Now, do you tell him or do you?
Well, I don't take his drink away. I just like move it over like 6 inches.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I was like, wow, Karl is doing that. He's just being
But
and then after the fact, I'm thinking, how does he get home? Like, how does he? If you got a good buzz on and you got a CNI dog, how does that work?
At least you didn't see two of everything like you and I did. You didn't see anything.
So
Yeah, and the dog's not drinking, right?
He might have been. I don't know.
So that's his eyes are sober.
We didn't caught him.
yeah. So there's a great joke, and I'm
I
probably
said,
not
"You're
gonna-
only 7." He says, "I'm really 21."
I think it'd be 49 in dog
Carl was
years.
doing the math. So these two guys are walking down the street. One has a German Shepherd, one has a Chihuahua, and the guy with the German Shepherd's like, "Oh, let's pop in here for a beer," and he's like, "They're not going to let us in there," and he's like, "No, we'll just tell them it's a service dog." So the German Shepherd guy just goes in, and they're like, "Hey, you can't bring that dog." And he's like, "Oh, it's a service dog." Like, "Oh, I'm sorry, blah blah." And he goes to sit at the table, and the guy with the Chihuahua's like, "Fuck it, all right." And he goes in, and And they're like, hey, you can't bring that dog in here. And he's like, it's a service dog. And he's like, a Chihuahua's a service dog? He's like, they gave me a fucking Chihuahua? I always like that one. All
Pretty good.
This one is from Zachary Yan. Are servers at risk of losing jobs due to online ordering? I know Jordan loves online ordering.
Who sent that? We didn't get a name.
Fucking just deleted it.
Zachary something?
Zachary Yan, sorry.
No, they're not going to lose their job because of online ordering.
See, I don't see servers, but do you think delivery drivers? Do you think a place that potentially... So let's pick Lucioso, it's a local place. They do a lot of delivery out of there.
Right, but that delivery is an addition to their restaurant.
Right.
So
but
the servers are still serving.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is I don't see how that would affect the service. But,
Right.
like, do you see a restaurant like Lucioso's, and I don't see them doing it, but going, hey, why do we even have delivery drivers when everyone's using DoorDash?
And we talked about this on a previous podcast with Andrew from Artisan Pig, was that what's the benefit of not having to facilitate your own delivery program and just going through these third parties? Well, you don't have to hire. You don't have to worry about that ever. There's always going to be someone that's going to be driving your food for you. Yes, they skim a good amount off the top, but that's money you'd be paying a delivery driver.
Mm-hmm.
And the time and all that effort that's going to go into setting up that program.
Would it also...
And if you don't have any deliveries for 3 hours, you're not paying anybody.
You're not paying anybody. So there's a benefit there, too.
And
so,
does it also affect your insurance that you would have to carry?
Yeah, you do have to have insurance to have delivery drivers, but
Yeah.
it's not a huge hit.
Yeah.
You just have to have some way of covering their cars unless you own the car or whatever, too. But, yeah, there is a lot of added ass ache to doing delivery either way. I'm against the third parties because, especially now during the COVID age where everything has to be so sanitary and careful, you don't trust these people. I think a lot of them are doing group driving. I think they're working for all three, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grub at the same time. So they're picking up food from multiple restaurants, doing a loop. You don't know how long your food's sitting in their car. Orders are getting screwed up. You're not talking directly to the consumer. So these people call Grubhub for an order and they have a question about my menu. These people from Grubhub don't know shit about my menu. They're just doing what's online. So you lose that direct connection with your consumer when you're going third party. That's why I'm kind of against the third party shit. As far as servers losing jobs, I can't see why.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't see why. And that's the nice thing about keeping it in-house is your servers are going to be the ones taking those orders too. You know, so they're answering the phone, they're taking the order, and I don't know how most places do it, but if someone's taking the phone call and there's a tip on takeout, the person who took the order should be getting some of that tip too, so that should actually help them out a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like if you're doing that much third-party business, you're going to need a dedicated person to run that food.
Correct.
And handle that person when they come in.
Correct.
And people want deliveries when you are in your prime time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nobody wants delivery at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you're slow.
I
Right.
wish. That'd be awesome.
It's all at 8 o'clock on a
Right.
Saturday. That's when everybody wants their deliveries.
Or when it's like fucking snowing.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. That's when it's really worth it, is when
Yeah.
it's like, it's either this or nothing. You
Right.
know what I mean? But when you got 30 slips up on your board and it's like, fuck, we just got a delivery for, $50 delivery. Great, that's good money, but it's like, your kitchen's getting its ass kicked already trying to handle what's in your restaurant. So it's, I never considered delivery because I know you did it a little bit, right, Karl? Like you were walking up and down the street a little and...
Yeah, we were doing it here for a bit, but just to the local businesses.
Yeah.
He ran a pretzel over to
We
me
never
when I
had
was
a
at the,
delivery.
beer cellar one day.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we never had a delivery. You still owe me for that, by the way. We never had a
I
delivery
tried to
system.
pay you then.
But we're not a sub shop that people are calling for pizza and subs to get delivered.
Right.
And those people are set up for it, which is a whole different.
Correct.
Yeah,
And they don't really have a dining... A lot of them don't have dining areas.
And if they do,
have
it's
4 or 5 tables.
somebody walking by getting a sub, sitting down and going, yeah.
Okay. Angie Wilson, looking for suggestions. Gonna come into some money. Well, good for you.
Hey, I got a suggestion.
Yeah. And looking at a food truck.
47 Main Street.
A food truck.
Yep. Gonna be a soft pretzel twist idea. Different pretzels, wrapped food, and sandwiches.
Sounds like you.
But trying to
the
come up
Munchie-mobile?
with
Is that Jen?
a cute name.
I got a cute
New
name
World
for you.
Tavern Munchie.
Fire away. Love any ideas. So, cute name for a pretzel dressing.
wrap. So they're doing a lot of rolling and twisting.
Sounds like it.
Sounds
Call
like
it
that
twist and
Anna's
shout.
at the mall
Done.
kind of thing. Twist and shout.
Done.
But they need a motto there. Like how about
Get twisted. Did you put that on yours yet?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you?
Get twisted and stuffed.
Yeah, get twisted and stuff. It's fucking perfect, man.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
I don't know, man. You gotta. I mean, it sounds to me it's
You
all
got to be
coming.
creative.
Yeah, here's the deal. I don't want to help. You got money coming to you. You got all the time in the world. You're not working for this shit. You're just gonna buy a food truck with some money that's coming your way. You come up with the idea, damn it.
Yeah, I feel like there's marketing people that get paid for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You're coming into some money. I mean, and don't open up a food truck if you're not passionate about it. Like, you should have a name and shit already. Don't do that unless.
So do you think, and we don't know her, but do you think it's one of those where she's like, oh, that might be fun, opposed to like, oh, someday I'm going to have a food truck and it's going to be named this.
Right.
And
I don't want to assume, but it
Yeah.
sounds to me like I had no intentions on doing this, and then a bunch of money came my way, and that seems like a good time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. Where.
Because I feel like if you wanted to do it, you would have had the name before you had the money.
Correct. That's all I'm saying. I had a name for Speedwell freaking 5 years before we even opened that place. You know what I mean?
Because you had that dream, you had that
It
passion.
was Bill's Bar and Grill, but that's okay.
Yeah, but things change.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you don't change with the times, you're out.
Right. I would just say, hey, listen, it's going to humble you quick. So before you throw your money at this thing, make sure it's something you really want to do. And having a name and a business plan first before you drop $1 on anything is probably a good idea.
I think the best advice you can give anyone considering doing anything is don't do it.
Right.
Because if me saying don't do it is going to stop you, then you don't want to. You
Correct.
don't want to fucking do it.
Bingo.
So don't open a food truck.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't name
do
it
it.
anything.
Yeah, save that money.
Invest your
retire.
money in the stock market.
Right. There you
Yep.
go. Bitcoin, baby.
Chloe Martin. Hey guys, I got a question because I can't sleep. If your bar has, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Bar has draft beer, how often do the beer lines get cleaned? When I started having to do it, it was once a fortnight.
2 weeks.
It's 2
Okay.
weeks, baby.
Fortnite, baby.
So it got ingrained in me to do it regularly.
I didn't know they had bars in Middle Earth.
I know, right?
Yeah, so
As I'm reading, I'm like, fortnight. I don't even know.
It was a fortnight
I
ago
thought
when the lines were clean.
I'm
So,
glad
no, I
you
think-
guys knew. I thought I was going to have to
I think a
ask this.
fortnight is fine.
Yeah, 2 weeks is pretty solid. What I like to do, because you waste, so depending on how long your run of your draft lines are, like, you can lose as much as 4 to 5 beers
Every time.
you clean your lines. Like,
For
you
every
have a
keg.
company come in for every keg. So if you have 24 lines and I have 24 lines and a 30-foot run. There's 4 pints per line that is in the line.
That's
so when
a
the guys
lot of
come in
beer.
clean, exactly, I'm losing 4 pints per line. So I'm losing almost 100 beers just for
That's a
getting
keg.
my lines clean. That's a keg. So that sucks on the added cost of paying a company to do it. So what I try to do, instead of having a company come every 2 weeks or every month, when a keg kicks, I have the girls leave it empty. On the weekend, I come in the morning, I clean that line myself while it's empty.
Well, and that's great, but the problem with that is on a Friday, Saturday night, all of a sudden you got 6, 7 lines kicked.
Can't leave them open.
You
gotta
right. You gotta flip
and
them.
that's why you have the company come in and
Right.
and you have a system. You know which lines you haven't done in a while.
That's
I'm the
right.
only one doing it,
Yeah.
so I don't have my staff clean the lines. I want to do it, whatever. So that's my system because I'm a cheapskate and I don't want to lose 4 beers for every draft line. But I do understand, like, every 2 months, I'll pay a company to come in and do it. If you're not doing your own in between lines, I would say once a month is probably the way to go, especially with all the shit that's in beer now.
Yeah, at least
Pumpkin
once a
beers
month.
and
2 weeks.
hazy
2 weeks
beers.
might be overkill.
Yeah,
But it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Once a month is not going to hurt you.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should just do it.
I-
Once every 3 months, I'm not drinking your draft beer.
And it's funny, that's always, I feel like that's a very common, like, somebody like, oh, I went to such and such a place and I didn't feel great afterwards, and be like, oh, don't go there, they don't clean their draft lines or whatever.
It's not that. It's not, I don't feel well, blah, blah, blah.
You taste it.
Because everybody would be sick when they walk
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that's
But
one of those things that
you
people
know,
blame.
Of course,
if you drink,
Not the
and I'll
30
give you
beers you
old
had.
school
Yeah.
because I'm old school. If you drink Bass beer
Yeah.
on draft,
Yep.
and you knew that I like a good Bass, and you go to a place that doesn't clean their line, and you taste that Bass,
Ooh.
it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, the person that just came in says, "Oh, they have Bass. I haven't had one of those in 5 years," and they get a Bass, they're not going to know.
Right.
But the guy that drinks Bass every day is going to say, "This is just not right, man.
Right.
It's just not right."
And
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's just not right.
And Jordan's right about all the weird shit they put in beer. I've been to places
Right.
and been like, oh, can I get such and such a beer? And I'd be like,
Tastes like blueberries.
This tastes weird.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we just had, papaya beer or whatever on that line.
That could, but that has nothing to do with cleaning your line.
Right. But
it
want another
will build up
motivation
after,
That's
clean your
correct.
line.
That's correct.
And I'm conscious now of what kind of beer I tap because of that as
You
well.
hide another one.
Because now you're getting beers that are brewed with, like, I think of it, and I'm not putting this beer on blast. I think it's a fantastic beer, but it's a prime example of how a beer can pollute your line inadvertently is Southern Tier Creme Brulee. Every time I tap, it's an unbelievable imperial stout. It tastes like creme brulee. You could smell it when you pour it. It permeates in the restaurant. People love it. It's a dessert beer. But every beer I put on after that is going to taste like vanilla and like caramel. And so I got to be conscious. Make sure I clean
You're not
the line
putting a nice
after.
clean Pilsner on.
No,
Yeah.
you're putting another stout on after that might not have vanilla and stuff in it that you really, because you can wash that line 40 times and that vanilla is still going to be in there.
Right.
Only getting liquid going through it is going to get it out.
Now,
so.
what do you, for someone who's never had to clean a beer line, what do you have to do to clean a line?
They sell basically a keg you fill on your own,
There's
little
chemicals that you
plastic
put
kegs.
through.
Yeah.
You just run it through the
Descale.
line.
Same
put
as
some
cleaning
water
the coffee
through.
urn.
Yeah, it's just to make sure that there's no
Residual
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and some, like I said, some things pollute a line stronger than
That's
others.
correct.
Pumpkin beers you want to be afraid of. Anything with an extract, a fruit extract, stuff like
If
that.
you're putting a pumpkin beer on and you have another pumpkin beer, put it on the same line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it on that pumpkin line because it's not going to matter that you pick. Your line's clean as hell, but that pumpkin flavoring is going to be picked up in, like Karl said, your light pilsner, your crisp sour ale, stuff like that.
And it's that time of year. It's
Right.
pumpkin time.
Yeah, I haven't tapped one yet. Have you? Got pumpkin beer on yet?
I do have pumpkin beer on.
Oh, this guy's stuck.
All right, next question.
Sorry. I was distracted by this phenomenal truck driver outside. All right. So
It's going to be rad. He's never going to make it.
is he trying to get down that
He's
street?
been out there for 30 minutes. Look at this guy passing him on the left.
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah, everyone's passing him up.
Yeah, the one way's working out great, guys.
All right, so go ahead.
All right.
Jordan.
I'm listening.
I'll
I
take
got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next question. Come
Natalie Stewart. My
Natalie.
coworkers are bitching about having to sweep and mop the floor. In my 15 years, I've always had to have some cleaning tasks. Has anyone ever worked at a bar that doesn't require them to clean? Over-entitled bartenders that don't think they have to clean. That's not really... I don't know. That's just...
I know what she's saying,
little
though. And what's her name?
bitch. Natalie.
Natalie, I'm with you. If you're not cleaning at the end of the night, 1, you don't know what your job is. 2, you're too young and you think that you know what your job is. But if you have been in the position or in the industry for that long, you know you have to clean at the end of the night. Whether that's
Yeah, I would just
vacuuming the
assume
rugs,
that's-
washing the floors.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying you have to sit there and scrub every corner.
Right.
I mean, they should have a cleaning company that comes in every so often that really does a great job cleaning. I'm not asking you to dust the light fixtures that are, 8 feet off the ground. But if you're not washing the floor and cleaning the tables at the end of your shift, there's an issue.
Especially now.
There's an issue.
Yeah. I feel like that's... Like, how is that not... Like, that's like almost saying to me, like, oh, I tend bar and I have to do the dishes? Like, yeah. Of course you have to
So
clean
the
bar
question
and-
was, Jordan, do you have people that have to wash the floor or clean at the end of the night because the bartenders don't feel it's their job?
So that's a good one. That's
Let's
a heavy
assume
one.
let's assume you don't have a cleaning company come in, which I think everybody should at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not, and I said this before, I'm not asking the waitresses and the bartenders to clean the light fixtures that are 8 feet above the floor, but yeah, if
I
they
just-
need
why
to
wouldn't
they
you?
need
Yeah.
they need to at least wash the floor.
Because it's kind
I
of...
mean, you know how much drinks are being spilled behind the bar?
That's my thing, is it's kind of the mess you made.
They should be cleaning.
Yeah.
So here is I can do both sides. There's the part of me that's rah rah rah. I've been in this industry for so long. You clean up after yourself. This is where I came up. I used to have to do this. When I was your age, this is what we did in the bar industry.
Yeah.
We mopped our own floors. We stocked our own bars. Yep, all that is completely true and should be true. However, that's just not the reality. We don't have the same minded workforce coming through. That's just facts.
Now you're creating that
excuses.
But see-
excuses for
I
them to
understand,
say.
But see, that's also...
to say, well, that generation they don't do anything, so we won't let them do
I'm
it.
not saying that.
But see, I also look at that as it's our responsibility to train the generation behind
100%.
us.
So I'm getting to that. So
Oh, sorry.
He's getting to that.
I'm
All right.
getting to that. So you can train your staff.
Should we
you
keep
can
cutting them off?
Yeah, make
All
them
right.
do it. You can train your staff. You can make them do it. You can tell them at the end of the night at 2 a.m. they should be mopping their own floor. That's fine. I'm all for that. I think it's part of the job. I agree to, like with Andy, you're cleaning up after your own mess. However, you tell me at the end of the day, would you rather be on your, because this is the thing, they're gonna cut corners. They're not gonna clean it to the specifications you want it clean for. Their job is a bartender, not a bar cleaner, right? So that's the way they're always gonna look at it, no matter how much you discipline them and threaten them and say it's part of their job. At some point, it's gonna get complacent. You're not gonna want to deal with it. You're not gonna want to inspect every morning. So, in my experience, yeah, I make them sweep. I make them stock their bar. Everything's got to be wiped down. They got to wipe down the draft system. When it comes down to like mopping and shit, I'm like doing the bar mats, cleaning the bar mats. I'm like, no, you know what? Like, yeah, I think they should do it because I used to do it when I was bartending. But it's so much easier for me to just pay a cleaning crew to come in, do the bathrooms, do the dining room, do the bar, do the kitchen, do all that extra cleaning shit. Stocking up the soap in the bathroom, stocking up the toilet paper. I would rather pay $50 a day to have people who are, their primary job is to make sure my restaurant is super clean instead of depending on disciplining my bartenders every 2 weeks because chasing them around saying you guys didn't mop this part of the floor. Or,
well, then, I mean, we you draw the line. You say, oh, don't worry about washing all the glasses. That's exactly where I draw the line. I'll come in a company and I'll have them wash the glasses.
I drew the line at mopping.
So they want to make all the money in the world, but they don't want to do any work to make that money.
No, that's not true. You can draw a line, and I think drawing a line comes down to sanitation. They're not qualified to sanitize. The only person in that building.
That wasn't the question. The question was, should they be cleaning at the end of the night?
Yeah, they're cleaning. They're wiping down the bar.
I'm not saying your bar. I'm saying any bar in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they don't just fucking count their tips and leave. They take their trash out. They stock their bar. They clean the draft lines.
The question was
sweeping and mopping was, I think, the most cleaning in the question.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
Should they sweep and mop at the end of the night?
They should sweep. I don't care about mopping. I'm like, I'll just have the cleaner crew come in and do it. I'd rather have it done right than have to constantly give them lessons on how to mop a floor. Is basically what I'm saying. Like,
I think you're mixing up the questions.
Am I?
I think having a cleaning crew, we agree with that.
Yeah.
At some point, you should have a cleaning crew come through.
But as a bartender, you have some basic.
But if you're behind the bar and you're spilling pumpkin beer on everywhere
you should
all
be
night
that
long,
shit down.
Yeah.
And you're ankle deep in water, in beer, old beer, you're not going to walk away and say, "Oh, the cleaning crew, they'll clean it."
Could not agree more. You clean up you leave your bar clean for the next bartender.
That's correct.
I agree with that.
And that was my thought. Is like, if a bartender ever came to me and was like, I don't think I should have to mop the floor when I left, I'd be like, I never want to hear you complain about how the bar's
I'm not saying to my bartender,
Right.
hey, you got to scrub the toilets tonight because it's Wednesday night and tonight's the toilet scrubbing night. I get that.
Right.
That's not what they should be doing.
Right.
But should they be washing behind the bar when they're spilling on shit?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course, the shelves, the everything.
Absolutely.
All that stuff is, I'm not paying a crew to come in to clean the bar you made a mess of.
That's right.
I was thinking more of the janitorial.
No.
Okay.
This was basic.
That's my fault. So I missed the question. That's my fault.
Fucking pay attention.
Sorry, dude. It's 11:49.
Stop getting us drinks.
I'm drinking. Yeah, exactly.
Scott Cessna. How many? I would also like credit for how good I'm doing with the last names here.
I was going to say,
He's
thank
4 for
God.
4.
Yeah, he changed them to easy words.
Oh yeah, I'm totally like just any like names that come in that are terrible.
Let's ask the question. We got 2 listeners. We're losing one of them.
Jesus Christ.
How many of you
I already lost fish.
cooks/chefs work in an open kitchen? I'm a bit tired of being on display and treated like a zoo animal. We have chef's counters for people to sit and observe the service. Possibly the most annoying thing ever, unless you're into that kind of voyeurism shit. Me personally, I'd rather have a colon examined in Times Square.
All right, so you're working in an open kitchen, and you absolutely hate it, and you want your colon fucking checked, right?
So don't work there.
That's correct.
That's exactly what I said. What the fuck are you complaining? What, do you want them to build a wall for you, dude? Get the fuck out of here.
Is that like saying my job sucks, what should I do?
Yeah. I fucking
Quit.
people, man.
But anyway, let's talk about open kitchens, because I think that's a really good, it's a really good question.
Let's go on that.
But, you don't have an open kitchen.
I kind of did.
But it's open to the bar where they pass foods.
Yeah.
But you don't have an open kitchen.
No, you can see enough, though. It's not like it's a swinging door.
Oh, no, you
like
can see
your
the
kitchen.
people in there.
You can see everything that's
Right.
going on in there.
But open kitchens are I don't know if I would ever want one in my restaurant.
We opened this whole podcast talking about Jim Casey, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's got the most open fucking kitchen in Plymouth?
Oh, Black Crab,
right.
yeah.
You sit at the bar, you're in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is how I met Jim. It was the coolest thing ever. The first time I walked in Blue, I didn't realize that I could sit at the bar and yuck it up with the chef who was expoing down the end of the bar. I thought it was fucking awesome. However, the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, I would never be able to work in this fucking
Nope.
kitchen.
From
And he's yelling at his guys to get him going in front of the guests.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Hurry. We're not swearing, but like, let's go. Hurry up. Let's go. And like, me, I'm a restaurant guy, so I'm like, this is porn for me.
Yeah.
But the average consumer that maybe never worked in a restaurant before, somebody maybe a little older that's sitting at the bar, a tourist or something like that, seeing this dude yell across, might make them a little uncomfortable.
You think so? I feel
But
like...
I'm thinking, if there was a true open kitchen, I would be uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable as a restaurant owner going to a place that has an open kitchen because I know that you're not going to get, like you said, people in tuxedos work in your open kitchen. They should be professional. They should know what they were doing, and everything should be fine.
It's an added pressure.
But I'll tell you what, you're right. I mean, you're staring at them. However, I'm staring at my bartender every day while they're making drinks. I'm staring at my servers every day as they come over.
It's different.
So it is different. But in my mindset, because I don't deal with a lot of open kitchens, it's very brave to have an open kitchen.
Yeah, why
It's
would
very
you want
brave.
one? Or what's the benefit? That's what I want to know. Do you think you're getting that much more business for the entertainment factor of people seeing exactly what's going on in your kitchen?
No.
I don't think so either. So why would you want that added pressure on your employees? Why would you build a restaurant that way?
Yeah.
But a lot of people will say, well, if you don't want an open kitchen, then you're not running your kitchen correctly.
Right, no, I understand all that, but it is a lot of added pressure on the staff because even if you're running your shit as tight as possible and you're following all the guidelines and everything's going great, like, still, the people you're hiring, you might be comfortable back there because you know all the work you put in it, but the people you're hiring are going to have emails like Homeboy over here where they're like, fuck this, like, why do I have to work in a situation where I'm constantly, I feel like a caged animal?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, I can't just, the benefit, I've had a lot of people convert from front of the house to back of the house because they don't like being on display. They, after a certain point of bartending or serving, they're tired of dealing with the public. It's just how it is. So you go to the kitchen, you could stay in the industry, but you can be yourself. You can drop a couple swears, you can listen to some music, you can get dirty, you know what I mean? And to me, it sounds like the worst from both worlds having an open kitchen. You're making less money and you're on display.
Yeah.
That sucks.
See, I think...
all I can think of is for an open kitchen is like, you know how many more tables they could put out if they didn't have that kitchen? But then I'm thinking,
That was my next
well,
point.
they're going to put the kitchen somewhere. I guess they'll just build up walls.
true.
You know?
Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, I'm not sure.
I feel for him because I would definitely not... And just for that sheer... If you drop something... I'm not even implying that you would pick it up, but like my response would be fuck, you know.
Right. Well, what sucks too is the people watching that, and they know that you're not picking it up and putting it back on the plate. They can literally see you not doing that.
Right.
But perception is reality. Like, how often do they drop shit? Like,
Right. Oh my god, he dropped that. Or,
Right. If he can't handle holding that, then what else is he doing wrong?
Or you get the person who's like, I ordered a steak and I'm waiting for my steak and I can see 3 steaks cooking.
That's right.
No.
Oh, dude, that's the big part of it.
Yes. Or like, I want it rare. Is that my steak? My
Correct.
steak's,
Right.
you know, like,
I've been waiting a half an hour for my food, and that must be mine over there that he's cooking now. What is he doing? What is he doing with it? Where is it going?
And
What's
then
on every table? What the hell?
Yeah, and then it doesn't come out to you, makes that anger level go up.
Now, I just had a little light bulb thing. Let me throw my hat in real quick because I was thinking about. All right, we're talking about the benefit of
You had
an
a
open
little
kitchen.
light bulb thing?
Little light bulb thing. Ding, right above my head.
Oh,
You know no one can see
Right
you
above
do
my
that.
head. Yeah, ding. I'm wagging my finger and pretending there's a light bulb above my head. But what if they were getting tipped? Now you have the benefit of both worlds, right?
Sure.
So you have an open kitchen. You're technically performing. You are interacting with the guests because you have somebody going, "Is that my steak?" You have to interact, right? So you're helping with the experience, and isn't that what servers and bartenders get tipped for? Is the experience that they're giving the clientele?
Well, I mean, should we open up this whole? Could be a whole new episode.
Yeah.
You might
maybe we'll have to
Do
get
we
like
tip everybody? Do we tip just the servers? Do we just say, hey?
If it's an open kitchen and the person's interacting with the guests at the bar, like me sitting down and talking Jim's ass off for friggin', an hour and a half, you know what I mean, while I'm sitting there having a couple beers and eating lunch or dinner at his place, and he's trying to expo, he's enhancing my experience, right? So when I tip that bartender, when I get my check, shouldn't some of that go to the guy that was giving me attention, making
I
my
would
food?
think
But then
so,
you go to the next point and say, all right, you know what? We're gonna pool all tips here,
Yep.
right? And including the kitchen. Okay, so everybody makes the same amount, and we're gonna tip out. Do those guys in the kitchen say, I'm making tip, man. This is going to be the best plate of nachos I ever friggin' delivered.
Correct.
Every
Pride
single
in
time
the
it goes
product.
out.
Right.
Because they know that,
But
hey,
look-
now I'm getting tipped
And
on.
let me play devil's
Right.
advocate.
Absolutely.
You have the waitress being like, they get the same tips as I do. I'm making waitress wages. They're getting paid
No,
full
everybody
everybody
makes the same
Oh,
amount in the
okay,
restaurant.
all right.
The
Yeah.
entire restaurant, everybody makes the same amount.
Oh, okay, that'd be
It's
different.
like restaurant socialism. But
Okay.
for all the right reasons, because everybody has to do a good job at that point.
Yeah.
Like, the server has to represent the food the right way because the food has to look good, right? And the chef's motivated to do that now because he knows he's getting some of that cut.
Going to make a tip.
So if you pay everybody $8 an hour and they all get gratuity, then that's
Now
That's motivation.
motivation.
The most open kitchen there is it teppanyaki?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
Teppanyaki.
That teppanyaki's hot pot. You're thinking about hibachi.
Hibachi.
Mm-hmm.
When they cook on the table, the Asian chefs.
Hibachi restaurants.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'm with you.
Okay. You weren't reacting.
Now-
I
thought there was more to the story.
No, well, there is, but you were just staring at me like you had no idea what I was talking about.
Stroke it out.
Is there, do you smell toast? Is there a concern that your chefs would be like playing to the audience where you're like, let's go, kid? And
Well,
like,
in an open kitchen,
Yeah.
absolutely.
concerned, but also, could that be a good thing?
Yeah, could
I
that
don't
be a
know.
good thing?
I don't know. I'm throwing it out there for you guys. That was
It would be like it's like a little show.
yeah.
Right. Now, I would love to
Can you
ask.
imagine me
like
to be in an
opposed-
open kitchen going, okay, guys, let's go,
like,
let's go.
I think people, just like they love watching Jim and his personality over there, I think they would love that. Honestly do.
So would you have your pizza guy going from making a pizza to throwing the dough, that kind of thing?
Well, there's a
Well,
place.
that's if put it this way: if it was within their ability,
Yeah.
I would have them throw it every time.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a restaurant down in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, the Pasta House. It's been there for a while. They do a really good job. They don't have an open kitchen, but just the pizza portion of their kitchen is behind the bar. Same thing with Not Your Average Joe's, which is down there. It's funny, there's nothing like that around here right now besides Blue Eyed Crab. It's so weird thinking that now. But that
Do you want to push Blue Eyed Crab a little bit more?
I
during
know,
this
we've been
episode?
talking
We've been talking about Jim
Jesus
Casey.
Christ.
Yeah,
This is the Jim Casey,
tribute
love
episode. Jesus
yeah.
Christ, you think he was dying or something. Jim, I hope you're okay. But no, it is that. They put on, the pizza chef is like, you sit at the bar, it's an Italian dining place, so it's not typically a place you go to for pub style. But there are going to be 8 or 9 people that want to sit at a bar no matter where you go. And it's so rad to see a dude throwing dough behind and being like, holy shit, there's a pizza oven back there, this dude's building pizzas.
And you can watch it and not talk to your wife.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because
or
I
pretend you're listening to your wife.
Right.
But you're
Because
really
I go to
just
places-
Like you're watching the TV, but now you're watching a guy throwing pizza.
I would rather
because
watch
I go
that.
to places other than Blue Eyed Crab. I like to go to Sushi Joy and sit at the sushi bar so you can see them make sushi. That's awesome.
Perfect example. Another adaptation. Sushi bar,
Yep.
pizza bar. You see that shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
But to answer this guy's question, we can totally understand why it would suck. But
Yeah.
why did
Yes.
you take
If
that job
you-
if you don't want to be on display?
Correct.
So we went from that sucks to, oh my God, we should all have an open kitchen.
If you do it right, and then what it sounds
pros
to
and
me
cons.
like,
Yeah.
it sounds to me like this guy's probably not getting tipped out, which I don't think they
Yeah.
do that at Blue Eyed Crab either. I think he pays his chefs handsomely, he treats them well, and that's what their benefit is.
Jesus, get a room with Jim,
And
will
that's
you,
fine.
please?
Why else would they work for that asshole? He's got to be taking care of him. But no, it sounds to me like this guy's probably working in like a situation where he's just not feeling the love for being back there.
And
it's not worth it to
he's
him.
probably come from a old school kitchen that wasn't an open
Or a
kitchen.
chain restaurant.
Yeah, and now he's on display. Been like,
Right.
so fucking go somewhere else, dude.
Go somewhere
Right.
else.
Yeah.
So go somewhere else.
Yeah.
The
World needs plenty of chefs.
the
right
shorter
now, man.
answer is quit.
Yeah.
Move to Plymouth. Everybody's hurt.
Everybody's
people.
hurt. We
Yeah.
could all use a good cook right now. One that doesn't bitch and moan, please.
Myra Hernandez. How do you all feel
My
about
God.
table requesting they not be served by a certain sex?
I tell them to leave. I don't like that shit, man. I don't. That's just setting the precedence for a bad experience. All
I
the
don't
way
I don't
around.
understand the question.
So someone coming in saying, "I will only take a male waiter," or "I only want
take
a
a
female."
I've never heard of that in my life.
I've never heard that
in my
either,
life
yeah.
And if someone did that, I'd just be like, "You're just going to be trouble anyway." Like,
I would just
we
be
don't-
like, yeah, you're going to get who you get or go.
right.
Yeah.
And if there's any issues, we have no room for that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Next
like
question.
that.
We don't even
Yeah,
like
I
that
don't
question.
Like
Yeah. Well, don't yell at her. She didn't ask she asked the question. She didn't.
Now hold on.
that.
Here comes
If
Karl.
I actually thought about it.
If it's a bar that's a little risque, shall we say? And,
Like a
say like-
and I come in with
let's say Hooters.
Like Hooters,
Like
okay,
Hooters.
perfect.
And if I come in, if I'm at Hooters,
Yeah.
right, and I'm with 3 and 4 of my buddies,
Yeah.
all right, all guys,
And
we're
you're
coming
like,
in,
hey, I'm
You're going
Jim.
out,
we're going for the wings,
Locker
Yeah.
room.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm Jim. I'm your waiter.
and a guy wearing the
Yeah.
same, and a guy's wearing the same thing that the girls wearing that come
Oh,
over.
well, come on. But even if he's just wearing regular
And
shit.
he's got his like front of his shirt and a knot and all that.
Let's be honest. 4 or 5 50-year-old dudes coming off the golf course going out for wings do not want to have Denny, who's a male waiter that works for me, coming to their table. They're going to Hooters but that's part of what they sell. They're not just selling wings, they're selling that.
That's correct.
So
that's what I mean. Depends on the venue. I mean, there's not many venues that I could say that would do that.
I think that's actually fair, and I thought I was afraid of where you were going with this. But I gotta say that's
right.
That's actually pretty fair. And I would just say, and at a place like that, it's not going to be met with any. The people who are working there aren't going to be like, "Oh, I've never heard that before. How dare you?"
Let's just say if I get 4 or 5 of my buddies and we're after golf and we go to Hooters and Serge is my waiter, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Right. You're just going to say, hey, listen, like, and it is. Is it objectifying? Sure. But they're selling that.
Yeah.
That's what they're selling. They're not selling wings. They're selling, come in, check out the girls with the low-cut shirts.
If you went to the Foxy Lady.
Right.
And you went out and there was male dancers, you'd be like, this isn't what I paid for. And they'd be like, sexist bastard. You'd be like, no, that's not why I'm here.
Selling male entertainment.
When your motto is, we have the best breasts and thighs in the business.
Yeah.
That's like, all right, so for example.
I will give you
that. So we went from not answering this to spending 10 minutes on it.
I actually got another example just because it's full circle. We were talking about Mirabeau Inn and Spa when we first opened up because we were talking about Tyler Jobert being over there and stuff like that. And I said I went there for my anniversary. We got a couple's massage. They ask you, do you prefer a male or a female masseuse? I know bartenders aren't touching you per se. I said I don't care.
What'd you say? You were such a liar.
I swear to God, I said I don't care. I ended up with a female, which was sweet. But
because his wife was next to him.
My wife ended up with a male, and I had to sit there and watch that go down, too.
He had a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Well, but not anymore. But
again, it comes with the venue. So if you're walking into a fine dining restaurant,
there's a certain venue type that it would be acceptable,
right?
But generally speaking, it's
I think we did a good job on that one because originally we were just like, well, who the fuck would ask that? And then we thought about it for a second. Carl had a little light bulb.
Holy shit,
situation,
Carl! Way to
and was
go,
like,
man.
shit, wait a minute, there might be a situation.
I have a lot to add to this
Carl,
podcast.
that was insightful.
You know what I mean? That was the word.
I got a lot of shit in my head.
All right, Tony Harris, thoughts, please. My GM is telling us cooks we have to get a Hep A shot. Cost is $60 a shot and is 2 shots. They say they will reimburse us.
$60 a shot. My
for 2
most
shots.
Expensive one is like 12.
They say they'll reimburse us. Nothing has been said about the service staff being required to get them. Is this dude for real? I don't mind a shot, but
how
they
about
don't
this?
even offer us insurance.
When you go in for a job and they say you need a Hep A shot, you might not want to work there.
I was going to say,
is that like a normal thing?
That had to have been an issue. There had to be some sort of, not an outbreak maybe, but maybe they had somebody that had Hep A that worked there and they realized it. And
now they all have it, if you know what I mean.
Right.
There's
that
get
one with a knife,
person.
blah, 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 blah.
No.
There's something sketchy going on there. And I know there's medical confidentiality where if someone that's working there and has an issue with
Hep A. They probably work in what's the sketchiest state, you think, for a bar?
Oh my God, I wanted to send you guys
Florida.
Oh, you think so?
Did I tag you in that post?
Did I tag you in that? I was thinking
Florida sketchy.
I was going to say Alabama, but we met that other guy. He was pretty good.
Jake French was in
there. So he changed my name. So let's go.
No, I tagged you in the. Did you see
North
that post
Dakota.
I tagged you in?
Vegas.
I think I tagged you in.
No, Vegas, not sketchy.
I tagged you and Dan in a post, and it was on a bartender forum, and it was literally this bar was made out of plywood. And, like, the ceiling was falling down. No, not Coconut Carls. And the bathrooms were outhouses. Like, I think it was Wisconsin.
Yep.
So
Wisconsin's having a tough time this week.
Yeah. So
wasn't Wisconsin.
I don't know.
Wisconsin's big beer town.
Yeah,
it was
Germans.
The shadiest, like, this was, like, backwards.
I'm going to say, like, not New Orleans, but, like, Louisiana, like, back bayou, like, fucking, there's got to be
there you go. All right.
shit in Old Town.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But
especially after, like, Katrina and stuff, too, I'm sure.
Sure, okay.
Shit got a little wild down there. You ever watch True Detective?
No.
Picturing one of those. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Detective, right? Fish is nodding. Yeah.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
So, as a requirement, and like you said...
if you have to have shots for a requirement to work there, you might not want to work there.
I know you get, like, a tetanus shot when you're working around metal and shit.
I've just never heard that. I've never heard of anyone requiring shots.
Yeah, this guy might want to get out of town.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know where we started and when we started recording. And this was a weird episode because it was like the Jim Casey Love Fest and questions.
I know, right?
With Jordan.
Yeah, with Jordan.
Jordan was the Love Fest.
I know.
No, well, yeah.
So it's questions and Casey.
I guess so.
Topic, title right there. Shut up.
That's what we should do. We should do podcasts and just talk about a person.
That's kind of what happened. I didn't even know we were recording. We were just fucking doing
we're just shooting the shit.
draft.
So we should just pick a person and talk about him the whole time.
Just like talk trash?
Just talk shit.
Doesn't matter. We like him. We don't like him. It all
Yeah,
depends.
right. It's a gossip. It then becomes a gossip podcast.
There's no way there's no way that could go wrong.
Bunch of 16-year-old girls.
Oh,
they're going to be very disappointed.
So, let's do last call.
Last call.
We'll go with Karl.
Hey, everybody. If you're ever in downtown Plymouth, come over to the New World Tavern. Great people. Don't need a Hep A shot to come in.
Debated.
Good-looking owner.
Yeah, Rome.
Great food. Good music.
Rome's not an owner anymore.
That's all I got.
Yeah, you guys got some music going on here. Was it Hitch every...
We got Jeff Hilliard every Friday, Hitch every Saturday. We get the Phase every Thursday.
You got
It's a lot
Quincy
of fun.
coming in from the Quins?
We do.
Yeah,
we
nice.
do.
You got some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's we're hip.
Yeah. Stuffed pretzels.
We stuff them until your nuts explode, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Thank God we're have a thing. What do you,
We don't have a thing.
Never mind. We don't have a thing. Jordan, what do you got?
Hi, Jordan Chavez, Speedwell Tavern. I'm going to plug...
The Blue-Eyed Crab and Jim Casey.
I think we've done enough plugging of that dude right now. It's Jesus Christ.
I don't think you should put it like that.
Yeah, I meant to, because it's practically what we've been doing. But no, I'm going to plug
that guy for the last
I'm gonna
hour.
plug the fucking
Shazam.
Speedwell, because the genius owner of Speedwell, he came up with this great idea to build barriers between his booths so that he can use his entire restaurant again and also be compliant with the COVID-19 restrictions, and called upon 10 very talented artists.
They're
one
looking
of them
pretty sharp.
being himself.
Yours came out awesome.
Thanks, man. I was hoping I'd get some shit because I'm like really pumping my own tires right now. But yeah, so we got 10 sides, so 10 local artists are coming in and painting on these barriers. Andy is one of them with his daughter Zoe, and it's pretty rad. I encourage all you guys. They should all be done within the next few weeks, I hope. I know y'all.
I told you I'm going to be there Thursday.
It's the longest last call ever.
No, mine's way longer than that usually.
Yeah.
So come by the Speedwell Tavern, check out those murals, spend some money. It's very safe, and yeah, pretty rad. Andy, your turn.
All right, so...
Thanks, Fish, for doing
Thanks,
all
Fish.
you
yeah,
do.
thanks, Fish. So to this second, I didn't even think of what I was going to do, so I'm a little unprepared. But friend of the show, former guest, Chef Rossi, has started a podcast.
Yes, she has. Good call.
Do you remember the name of the podcast? Because, like I said, I didn't think of it till just a second.
I can pull it up, but you continue and go on
Let's pull it
and
up.
rant
So Chef Rossi
on how
is
awesome she
amazing. She has a cool book called The Raging Skillet.
It's something skillet.
It's
The
Raging
podcast. No, the podcast is something skillet.
but she's dope AF, as the kids say. So the podcast is called Raging and Eating, available wherever podcasts are found. Check it out.
Nice.
She's just one of the super nicest people. And
Friend of the show.
I assume it's only a matter of time before Jake French has a podcast.
Yeah, I know, dude. That guy.
Yeah.
Jake was a rock star as well.
So we're the trendsetters, and they're following in our wake. But I wish her the best because she was just a doll.
Yeah, she was great. And she promised us she'd come up for beers in July, and we're well past that point. So, Chef, if you're listening to this.
And where is she from?
New York.
We should go.
Maybe we should just go see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a true New Yorker.
Oh, we
and,
could record an episode down there. Or out there.
Her book's
over there.
awesome, too. You can find her book, The
Down
Raging
there.
Skillet, on Amazon.
Yeah.
Which we plugged before, too. And shout out to Andy and Fish. They are really starting to scoop up some solid guests from around the country for this show, and not just this
We're
one,
trying.
but Inebriart.
Well,
Old
I don't think
Colony,
it's
Hannah.
Andy and Fish. I think it's our characters
Our outreach.
that people like. I want to be on with the
I'm not saying that
the Heine and Jordan show.
We've had better guests since Karl hasn't been on. I'm not saying it's like because of that. I'm just
And boy, were they disappointed.
Carl's computer can't handle Zoom, so
Karl's computer is an abacus.
yeah, pretty much.
But thanks for listening. If you want to email us, you can get us at bartalkcast@gmail.com. Send us your
questions, complaints, criticisms.
Or a wish list if you want to be on. If you want to join us.
Absolutely. If you want us to come out,
We'll Zoom you until your nuts explode.
We'll Zoom. If you're local, we'll come hang out at your place and record an episode. And so you can find us on all the social medias at Bar Talk Cast, and we will see you again next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can find us on all social medias at Inebriart, except for Instagram, we're at Inebriart6. You can email us with your questions, complaints, and whatnot at inebriart@yahoo.com. And if you're looking for more podcasts, you can check out the other podcasts on our network, Retro Redoctopus, America's Hometown Horror, and, of course, Bar Talk, Old Colony, and Inebriart Podcast, the original. So check those out and subscribe and comment so we can reach more people, and thanks for listening.